I think we already put something outside. Yes. We can go. That should be good. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Benjamin Beckley. I want to welcome you to Singles Hangout Live with Benjamin Beckley. Everyone watching on Facebook and everyone connected via any medium, you are welcome. I want to welcome everyone that is here with us here at Usmate Recreation Center here in Arlington, Texas, USA. I am so excited to be with you guys. I want you to know that I will just do something now, share the vision of what this is all about. Then we take it up from there. Part of what we want to just really do is I'm just going to share some few things as it relates to relationship. Then I will have us just discuss questions. Let's look at some areas or probably some practical issues that might need contribution from different people so we can see how we make relationship work. But let me introduce myself. Then I will have you introduce yourself so that at least I know you. I mean, Nick, I know you, I don't know you, but let's talk a little. Like I said, my name is Benjamin Beckley. And in case you are wondering if I was born here or I was brought here, I walked here. I flew in. I was neither born, neither was I brought. I came by myself. Oftentimes people will ask, where are you from? Your name, both of your names look Americanish. I said, no, actually my first name is Benjamin, my last name was Beckley, but from what I heard, I know my great-grandfathers were slaves, so the slave men give them their English names so that it's easy for them to call. Like if you want to call Ogungbemiro, they can't get that, so they just give them, you become Beckley, so when they call them, so I think they believe that that should be a good name. It makes them to be like above every other person in Nigeria, so they went with that name. And then we just kept going on there. Then coincidentally, when they would give me my baptismal name, they call me Benjamin. So Benjamin and Beckley, they look alike. BB, glory to God. So when people ask me, what is your name? I say Benjamin Beckley. And they look at me and say, where are you from? I said, Nigeria. I mean, people be asking name, Nigeria. So I'm from Nigeria. I'm married to a wonderful wife. For over 6 years now, we've been married. Enjoying marriage, good things. We are blessed with 2 boys, excellent and marvelous. As a person, I'm a pastor, privileged to pastor a church called the Empowerment Center. I'm a relationship and marriage strategist. For over 8 years, I've been dealing, almost 10 years now, I've been dealing with issues on relationship, teaching singles on maximizing relationship, maximizing singlehood. I've been at the forefront of talking about marriages, helping people's marriage, counseling people, and also being able to empower singles on making right choices and being able to see how marriage and relationship works. I am a success coach. I am an author, a business entrepreneur, a radio, television host, and there's a lot of cap in it, but just want you to know a brief thing about who we are dealing with and what we probably will be looking into. I have great passion for seeing people fulfill destiny. So much passionate that I can go out of my way to ensure that I steer you up to do something that you don't think you could do. I have passion for seeing people fulfill destiny because everyone has a destiny. Everyone has something to accomplish on the earth. So I'm so passionate also about seeing marriage and relationship work. I have so much great passion on marriage and relationship, and I realized that one of the things that can help us in building a sustainable marriage is if we understand how relationship works from the beginning. Relationship is the foundation. As a matter of fact, relationship is not really the foundation. Your personality is the foundation of marriage, because it is your person that comes into a relationship. If you are the wrong person marries the wrong person, then there will be a wrong home. So the person is really the foundation of relationship. It's your person. If we don't work on who we are, we might attract who we don't want to attract, then we live the kind of life we don't want to live. So I will say that relationship is not really the foundation of marriage, but your personality, who you are, is the foundation of marriage. So part of what we're going to be doing, Singles Hangout, is to see how do we work on ourselves to become a better person. If we live in a world where we have everyone living in this world is a better person, then we should have a better home. If everyone living in this community is a better person, we shouldn't have problem meeting anybody, having a good relationship with anybody and getting married to anybody, because we all are better persons. We have worked on our personality, we have worked on our weaknesses, strengthened our areas of weakness in order to move on. So I have had singles ask me different questions, advices, and I've also shared so many different experiences with them. Just like I asked you, I've had people share their experiences with me, and I realized that there are some areas of challenge in our society that we need to work on. Part of it is what I've shared with you on being the right person. Being the right person. So the objective of this Singles Hangout really is to be able to serve as a platform for enlightening, equipping, and empowering singles for maximizing their singlehood, and also to prepare them for marital success. Marriage is designed to work. Marriage can succeed. But the thing is that it is who and who is involved in it that determines what it will evolve into. The two people in a relationship determines what the relationship will become. And if we don't start working on it, we might have great challenges in it. So we're going to be having interaction, we're going to be learning, we're going to be sharing views, we're going to be having impartation, we're going to be connecting also. It's also to serve as a platform for connecting. You know, I realize over time I've had people, different age levels, to share so many things with me. Part of the challenge I see in societies like this is that we hardly have platforms for connecting with people. We hardly have platforms outside of the school system. Nobody's going to knock on your door to say, hey, are you single or not? Or are you looking or you are not? Nobody's going to do that. So it's going to be a platform where we're going to be able to at least connect together, build ourselves together, and we'll see how we work on things. Now, there will be time for questions. All I want to do is just to share a little insight with you on relationship. So what I'm sharing is called Insight for Singles. Just some few things that we probably need to know, or we probably need to, build our minds. Or your phone is not there anymore. so that we can build a sustainable relationship. Now, everyone watching on Facebook, if you have questions, you can send it in. And I want you to do me a favor. You know somebody that is single, share this video with them, invite a friend. Let's get as many on, and then we can move on. Thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate you for your time. All right, let me get to know you before we go into Insight for Singles. Let me get to know who and who we have. We have a microphone, Ife. We have a microphone. Let's talk. Let me get to know who you are, what do you do, then we move on. So at least we get to know each other. You can start with yourself since you are holding the microphone.
All right, I welcome.
According to the way you want to do it, give microphone to whosoever you want.
I welcome everybody to this program. My name is Ife Raphael. I'm single and...
Single searching or single just looking?
Single and all right.
Okay. Single okay. All right.
So I'm Frederick Dogbache.
You're from Ghana?
From Ghana, yeah. Actually from Ghana. Living in Bedford, Texas.
Okay.
I'm with Lighthouse Chapel International.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So I was invited.
That's Dr. Degard
Bishop Dag, yes.
Bishop Dag. Oh, that's great.
Yes, you're right. Yes, and
single, single, connected.
Okay.
Single, okay. Okay. All this one that everybody is single, okay. We'll try and find out what is okay about it and know what is okay. Willie.
Kosi, bienvenue à Gbemaple. And I'm single and I'm happy.
Okay. I'm having a lot of single, happy, single, okay. All right. Next person. Let's see what we got.
Hi everyone. My name is Adriola. I stay in Grand Prairie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Single, okay, yeah. Single.
Single and taking my time.
Single, taking your time. Oh, there are a lot of adjectives here today and adverbs. Single, taking our time. We will see where it will end. All right.
My name is Deborah Amali, and I'm excited to be here.
Single okay or single connected? Or single taking your time? Talking now.
It's classified, sir.
Classified. Okay, single classified. So that's good. Or single complicated. All right, thank you everyone. I appreciate the brief introduction. Thank you. Okay, now why it's important for us to know each other, at least number one, so that when we see each other, we'll be able to identify one another. Everyone watching on Facebook, you can also introduce yourself if you are single. Maybe you are single classified, or single okay, single taking your time, or single not searching, or single hooked up. Whichever you are, you belong to one of those ones, and we do appreciate your time. Okay, now let me share something very brief with you on insight for singles. I want you to know that the deeper your insights, the greater your exploit. The deeper your insight on anything, the greater your exploit. How far or how high you can rise in life is traceable to the content of what you have access to, what you know, what you have taken your time to understand. Just like every institution, there is something to learn in order to succeed in it, to excel in it, and to become great. So also relationship and marriage, there are things to know. Not to know them is not an excuse for having marital failure. There are things to know. In fact, there are things the things we need to know in marriage and relationship, many times they are ongoing. We need to keep knowing them, discovering some things, and that's part of the reasons why we come to platforms like this, so that we can share views. And I believe there is no all-knowing when it comes to relationship. There is no one that is all-knowing. There are things you know that I don't know. There are things I know you don't know. There are things you know by experience that because I didn't have that experience, I don't know it. That's why people say that experience is the greatest teacher, because there are things you get to discover by experience that others don't have access into. So that's part of the reasons why we are sharing views. But insight is important for anything. How far you can go is based on something you know. The difference between somebody achieving result many times and the people that are not achieving anything is not because of strength, but sometimes because of what they know how to do that others don't know how to do. One of the insights I want to share with us today is that relationship and marriage is not an end. It's not an end. As a matter of fact, I want to say this based on my experience, that it is not what really brings you fulfillment. That is not what brings you fulfillment. I've seen people say, I just want to get married, I just want to be in a relationship, but it is not the end of life. It is actually only a means to an end. It's a means to an end. Relationship is not the end of life. Marriage is not the end of life. The question is, let's assume I want to be married, I want to be married. Then now that you are married, what next? That's why many people get married and they realize that, oh, it was a different thing I was thinking. Some people get things that once they get married, all the problem of their life will disappear. You know, and some people think that, oh, if I can just get the right man, I will be happy. Man, it's not really marriage that makes people happy. If you are not a happy person, you can't be married, even if you marry the best man. But you see, there are some things that are just based on what I said earlier, your personality, your person. The reason why is because we have to be able to see relationship from the right perspective. It is a means to the end. Can a relationship and marriage make you happy or make you happier? Oh yes. If you are with the right person, you will be happy and you'll be happier. Can relationship jeopardize your future? Oh, it can. If you are in the wrong boat, you automatically expect the wrong thing to happen. So I want us to understand that relationship and marriage is not the end. It is not an end. It's only a means to an end. Number one, relationship is designed to make us better and not really make us bitter. But if we are in with the wrong person or we are in the wrong relationship, we can expect some level of bitterness. Why? 2 is better than 1. If 2 people connect together, they should be able to achieve more than what one person will achieve. But it is 2 right people, Two wrong people, rather than achieving more, they will be pulling each other aside and apart. So that's why I say that relationship is not the end. We have to look beyond the reason. That's why we have to create a reason. Why do I want to be in a relationship? We have to be able to define it. Because a purposeless relationship will give birth to a purposeless marriage. There is always everything God did or does, there is always a purpose attached to it. And as singles, one major question we should ask, which will also guide us in being able to identify what kind of a person do I need, or what kind of a person should I commit myself to. The question is, why do I want to be in a relationship? And everybody's answer is different. Some people want to be in a relationship because all their friends are getting married. I once had a relationship while I was single because everyone in my cycle had a girlfriend. And I said, where's your own? You know, when they're almost calling you names because you don't have girl, you're too holy, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to make sure that they don't call me this name anymore. So I just grabbed one person. And I grabbed the girl and we started. So I was able to defend myself that no, I have a girl now, you know. But I knew later, I was in it for almost 7 years, but I knew later that this is not what I want to do. I realized that I was in it for the wrong reason, because I was trying to defend what is not defendable. So some people are in relationship because of pressure, or because of a need to have. I had somebody told me that because I'm feeling lonely, isolation, because of loneliness. I just needed somebody. Because it's beyond that. It's beyond the fact that you just need. Of course, it solves that problem, but if you are with the wrong person, instead of solving loneliness, it will bring you lowliness. It will make you so feel low about yourself that what have I done with myself? So we must be careful to define a relationship, or define the purpose for which we want to be in a relationship. And what can help us is to know that relationship and marriage is not the end. People get married and they wake up the next day after all the wedding and thing, even after the honeymoon, to realize that, what happened? Then you now realize that, okay, what do we do next? Oh, you wake up with somebody beside you. Probably you've not slept with somebody before. You wake up with somebody, then what is the next thing to do? You continue, life continues. You still have a career to fulfill. You still have a destiny to fulfill. You still have what you need to achieve in life. But what relationship is supposed to do, marriage is supposed to help us channel it better. And that is why in anything you want to get into a relationship, if you want to, you have to be able to ensure that the person you want to relate with, or be in the same ship with, because relationship is all about relate in a ship. Relate in a ship. You are in a ship with somebody, and when you are in a ship, it's a risk. If both of you misbehave, you can find yourself in the sea. And if you get it right, you can find yourself at the shore. You know, so it's either the sea or the shore, whichever. If this thing has stopped, I think the Wi-Fi is breaking. So it's either you get to the sea or you get to the shore. So we need to understand that relationship is not the end. Let's have a definition. And the answer is yours. Why do I want to be in this relationship or this marriage? Some people are in it because they think they are grown, or they are old, or age is not on their side. Those things could be right, but they are not all that determines why you should be in a relationship. Why should I be in a relationship? And when I ask myself, number one, because I want to fulfill purpose. I want to fulfill purpose. And I need, when God created a relationship for meeting need. Help mate. Not help mate. Help mate. M-E-E-T. If you look at the scripture very well, that's what you will see. This is somebody that's supposed to help me to meet up. Help meet. So my strength is our weakness, my weakness, our strength. We're going to meet up together. There was something God had designed for Adam to achieve before Eve came into our life. It's the network connection. Maybe we'll remove the Wi-Fi. Let's try with just scroll down, remove the Wi-Fi. I think the Wi-Fi is weak. So it's about meeting up with something. May I ask a question? Let's look at it. Why do you think people should be in a relationship, or why do you think people should get married? Just your view.
It's not good for a man to be alone.
It's not good for a man to be alone. Okay, that's good. So, but the man should not just go and carry anybody. That's very important. That is for companionship. For companionship alone. God tried to solve the problem of being alone, not just in idleness or loneliness, but also to have companionship, so that it will be able to have enough strength to achieve, or enough help to achieve what has been committed to the person. So thank you for that. Any other view? Why should we be in a relationship? Why? What should be the why of a relationship? And like I said, we need to be able to fulfill purpose. And the purpose you don't discover, you may not be able to fulfill. So there must be a purpose discovery. Okay. There must be a purpose discovery in order for there to be a purpose fulfillment. We have to discover purpose so that we'll be able to fulfill purpose. So marriage and relationship is not the end. It is a means to an end. And if two of us will see that way, we will be asking ourselves that question: okay, if we get married tomorrow, what is going to be the next thing? What is our vision for life? What is our pursuit? What are we trying to achieve together? That is why we are coming together. That's why they call marriage or relationship partnering. We partner. That's why I call them my partner. So it can be partner in crime or partner in achievement. So, that is very important as we look at that. Number 2 insight I want to share is that the sincerity and the seriousness of partners in relationship affect the success of the relationship. The sincerity and the seriousness of partners in relationship affects the success of that relationship. The sincerity and the seriousness. The sincerity and seriousness. There is nothing we can do to that. If we are not serious about it, we cannot make it work. Relationship is a serious thing, and we have to be serious about it so that we'll be able to make it work. If we don't take it seriously, or we are not sincere with it, we will not be able to achieve the result we really desire to achieve in it. So the sincerity and the seriousness of partners in relationship affects the success of the relationship. The sincerity and the seriousness. Relationship is a serious thing. We have to take it serious and be sincere. When you are in a relationship with somebody, one of the things that I've had people have their fingers, burned is because of lack of sincerity. When you are not sincere with who you are. And that's why I said that before you drop into the level of commitment, you want to be sure that this is what you want to do. You want to be sure that this is what you want to be involved in. This is what you want to spend your life in. If you are not sure, and that is also why it helps to start as a friend. It helps to start as a friend in order to be able to make it work. So we need to build a relationship where both partners are sincere. You are in need for good. You are not in it because of goods. You are in it for good. If you are in it for goods, then you won't be able to be sincere in it or with it. And that's why it's something you want to look into before you dive into. Then next thing, thank you, sirs. The next thing I want to share is that, and that is also something that has to do with the other one, that relationship and marriage is not much about what we have or what we want to get from it, but who we are. It is not much about what we have. There are people, you might have the best of knowledge, you might have the best of house. That doesn't mean that you will have the best of marriage. You might have the best of everything, but that doesn't guarantee that you will have the best of marriage. The reason why is because marriage is more than what we have or what we want to get, but who we are. It is who we are. And that is part of the reason why we don't marry for what we want to get. If we marry for what we want to get, or we are in a relationship because of what we want to get, then we will not be sincere in it. then our purpose for being in it will also be wrong. Then our act in it will automatically be wrong. So what I'm saying now is to both sides, both party. You know, we live in a world right now that we are currently in a situation. Oftentimes, I've seen singles come to me, oh, I saw a guy, but my mom said we can't marry because he doesn't have paper. Marriage is beyond paper. Of course, there have been issues, precedences. That's why if we start working on correcting things and we start living right, we'll be able to see beyond what we want to get. And that's why you don't, no matter what you are looking for, no matter, even if you come to the country, you don't have paper, there is still a life to fulfill. So don't just hook anybody because of papers. Because after the paper is settled, then what remains? It will be Pepe. When paper is gone, it is Pepe that remains. So we got to be able to identify that this relationship is beyond, because really we are not marrying the paper. That's why I tell people we are not getting married to paper. Paper is just what enhances our stay. But if you don't stay here, if you stay in any other country, you can still succeed. So it should transcend into paper. And we should also be sensitive when we have people come around us to test what is their mind, to test why they are there. Because if we marry or we enter into a relationship because of what people want to get, the moment they get what they want to get from us, what drew them, the attraction that brought them to us will begin to diminish. You understand what I'm saying now? So in relationship and marriage is not much about what we have. And that's why you also don't judge based on what we have. You don't choose based on what you have in a relationship or in a marriage. It is much more about who we are. The most important part of our life that we need to work on is who we are. And that's part of the reasons why I want us to be hanging out, on quarterly basis like this, to begin to sharpen ourselves. Because one of the things we do as singles on our way in relationship and our way to getting married is to begin to adjust. There is always room for improvement in life. There are things we need to adjust. There are things we need to stop doing. There are things we need to start doing, embracing, if we will make relationship work. Because relationship is just about two people raised by two parents, raised differently, exposed to different things. Then our mentality is based most of the time on our environment, the place where we grew up, the association that we keep. So we are bringing two different mentality into a home. Then you expect, it is either you expect a boxing ring or you expect a synergy. You understand? It will become a boxing ring when somebody is not willing to adjust, accept. In relationship, to make it work, there are things you have to accept. If somebody told me that in marriage we do a lot of compromise. There are times you wish like acting up that you just have for the purpose of the reason why we have come together. We will defer our reactions. To tell you that you won't have issues is a lie, because you are from two different places, two different parents, two different environments. Some of us, we have been influenced by the success or the failures of our parents' marriage, that we have learned and gained something in it that we will bring into the homes that we are coming in. But now that we are single, that is part of maximizing singlehood. We need to start dropping some baggages, some load, some extra things that will not. The fact that your father and your mother lived some way doesn't mean that you're going to live that same way with your spouse. It might not work. They may live in that same way in different environment, but you might be in a different atmosphere. You have to be able to discover what works for you. And that's why I tell people also that the two relationships, if you put them together, they may not work the same way. Why? You are different. The other party, they are different. There are our personality is different. Some of us we talk, some of us we don't talk. Some of us we talk, but we pretend as if we don't talk. But when we are in relationship, you just have to be real. One of the things I want to tell singles is be real from the beginning. Be real. There is no room for hiding. If we are real, if I want to dive into it or I want to dive out of it. And if you see somebody that is actually real, you will know. If somebody is pancaking and covering up, you will know. So you have to enter it with a mind of sincerity, but we need to work on who we are. Because after all these things, It is who we are that remains. I posted something recently on my wall, and it came to me because I realized that we are in a generation now that people spend more time, more energy, more effort on wedding than we do on marriage. And I told myself that if only we would spend half of the energy, the planning, the program, the thing, the dancing. If you see the way they rehearse for dance now, you will be afraid. Thank God I'm already married, because if they want me to come and do some of this dance, I won't even dare them. The way we were getting married, they said I should carry my wife. I say, no, don't worry. We will do the other ones when we get in the house. So there is no carriage. So if we put half of the energy that we are putting on wedding and building our marriage, we will have more successful marriages. Part of the reason is because wedding is planned, but marriage is built. Which of them takes more effort? Building. You have to have a foundation. Sometimes you are building on and the thing crash, you got to build again. But wedding is planned. That's why you have wedding planner, but we don't have wedding builders. We don't have marriage builders. These are platforms where we can establish to begin to build our marriages, so that we will start from the right person, and the right foundation is yourself. Yourself, because that is who you are carrying into the home. That is who you are going with. Some of us, we have built some nature and characters and attitude that we say, no, nobody can change me. Even if God come from heaven now, I can't change. Ma'am, and says, you got to change. You got to change, because one of the things that is inevitably we can't do without is change. Change is constant. Change is consistent, but it's going to be change for better. Change for better. That is one of the things we need to embrace in relationships. So I'm sharing this because I realize that the foundation of a life or marriage is the person. We need to start working on our person. For some of us that have had negative experiences of marriages, we should ask ourselves a question. Did I come out better or I came out bitter? If you come out bitter, you're going to be causing bitterness for people that comes your way. So the best you can do is to learn why did this relationship end? What am I going to learn from it that can make me better, so that I will be better positioned for the next person coming my way? You understand? If probably you ask yourself the question now as you are seated, that why did I enter into that relationship? You'll be able to find an answer to see if probably because you saw a gift, or you saw some curves or some parts. These days there are things that people talk about. They say, I'm looking for 6 feet tall, 6 packs, and 6 figure. And when you look at all those things, you see it's the mark of the beast. So it is possible to have 6 packs and not have anything in the upstairs. You understand? It's possible to have 6 packs. You might have 6. In fact, there are people that are 6 feet tall, 6.2. But the height of a person does not determine their art. Height does not determine art. They might be tall, but they might be very little inside. That's why it is even who we change, who we relate with, what we relate it in relationship is the person. Is the person. So we have to be the right person so that we can operate with the right mindset in our relationship. So we need to learn from our past and previous relationship, what can I bring out of it? Why did I get into it? What makes it to fail? What can I learn from it? What can I work upon? Are there areas where I have faults or I have things that I need to work upon? When we begin to look into it, we'll begin to see areas where we have personal issues that we need to solve. Are you getting what I'm saying now? What is the time? 12:57. Let me share 2 more so that we can have some times to talk. Now, there's something I want to talk about just very briefly that, I had somebody call me some couple of weeks ago and was telling me something that I didn't know it does exist on this side of the world. And I want to beg you that understand this, that soul tie and blood covenant in relationship is not binding enough to hold your partners down. Soul tie and blood covenant. You know what this lady was sharing with me? That while they were in college, he had a blood covenant with a guy. I said, how did you do it? He said he cut his hand, I cut my hand, we licked our blood together and we soaked. I was like, I knew it does happen where I'm coming from, but I didn't know it does happen here. Now, eventually, they are no more. But this lady is not able to move on. The guy is not able to move on because there has been a connection in the spirit world. That's what it does, a covenant. They told themselves we are having a covenant. And now the purpose of the covenant was to hold each other down, but eventually the old thing can't tie them. But now they have to be paying for probably ignorance of what they have put themselves into that they ought not to put themselves into. Why am I sharing this with you is that, you see, if something is going to work, you will know. If it's not going to work along the line, you will know. Everything is just a matter of time. The person that came to you today with deception is a matter of time. It's going to show up. If somebody's intention is real, it's a matter of time. It's going to show. So, and the same thing happens in marriage. Don't try that, oh, by all means, I must not lose this guy. I'm going to tie him down. Don't use, you see, sex is not a proof of love. Sex is not a proof of love. If it were to be, then so many people should be in love with harlots. Many people should be walking on the street, their mind is with the harlot in love. Because they can have so many sex, so harlots should have many lovers. But it's not, sex is not really a proof of love. The proof of love is sacrificial. Sacrificial. Care. What concern do you have about my life? What concern do you have about my future? How concerned about you? How concerned am I in regards to this person becoming all that God wants the person to become? So I realized that sex is not a major proof of love. As I say, prove your love to me, prove your love to me. There are many ways to prove love. But many times we have to be careful so that we don't tie even our own destiny down because we are trying to tie somebody down. I've shared with you that it is who we are. I can say this also, that although I'm not advocating singlehood, but it is better to remain single than to be wrongly married. I can tell you that. It is better to, you know why? Wrong marriage can lead to early grief. It can lead to destiny diversion. And sometimes it can lead to frustration unnecessarily. It is better to be single and taking your time than to be wrongly hooked up and carried up. Be single and take your time. However, I don't want you to be single and take your time forever. You understand? Because also there are seasons for things. There are people that have taken their time and they wake up to realize that, oh, I'm 42 already. No. You see, the thing is that somebody asked me, what is the right age to be in a relationship, or what is the right age to get married? Marriage is not much about age, it's about maturity. There are many babies in marriage that they don't even understand anything about it. So it is much about maturity, and that is part of what can help us to mature, is to understand earlier that what we are bringing into marriage is myself, who I am. So I need to start working on myself. Now that you are single, take your time to build your person. Invest in your personality. Invest in yourself. Invest in your mental capacity. Invest in your communication skill. Because what helps us in marriage and relationship is communication. If you see a lady and you cannot express yourself, you'll just be looking at you. There are ways to communicate. In the days of our time, you have to be able to talk. You have to be able to talk. And sometimes we start like, hey baby, it's like I've seen you somewhere. Your face look familiar. My name is this and that. And you begin to, because ladies are moved by what they hear. Men are moved by what they see. If you are good, if you can talk, you can win anybody. You can win, and you'll be able to, like this Wale guy can talk, So, but men are moved by what they see, but women are moved by what they hear and what they read. That's why they are always craving for you to say something. Say something. Say something. If they talk and you're not talking, they feel that your mind is not in the relationship. And that is part of the things that we need to work on. Our ability to communicate, to know the communications channels that work. Because what you want to say is good, but how you say it is also very important. How you say it is what you say that can trigger a reaction, either a positive reaction or a negative reaction. Most of the time, it is based on what we say and how we say. So it is better to stay single, work on yourself, but don't be wrongly married. Don't marry for the wrong reason. Don't marry for pressure. No, don't also be in a relationship because everybody is saying you should be, or this guy is good. Even if, like we have in our world now, that we do referrals, I bring somebody to you. Don't be in a relationship because somebody, even your pastor, because your pastor brought the person to you. No, because at the end of the day, it's not your pastor that will be in the house with you. Many times the pastor may think he knows somebody, but he doesn't know, because many times when people come to pastor, they come in their best. Just like somebody is going on a date. If you really want to know a person, go and wake up early in the morning and go to their door, knock on their door. Before all the foundation and the pancake and the layovers are there, you'll be able to see the original, what you want to buy. No, that is the best way to know who you're dealing with. Don't go to the place where you realize that what you have is only a deception of who the person is originally. So what I'm saying in essence, jokes apart, is that you have to get to know who the person is by yourself, not based on what a third party told you about the person. Because who is going to deal with them is you. And remember, in marriage, the foundation is you. Is the person, is you. So the more we work on ourselves, the more it's easy for us to be able to make things work. Let me share one with you. To enjoy relationship success, I want you to watch out for the following. If you will enjoy relationship and also enjoy marriage, number one is chemistry. There must be a chemistry. Chemistry is what attracts you to the person. What attracts you. If you have a battle of attraction, it is better you work on it before you sign that I do. Because most of the time, what happens to people eventually when they get married is that the attraction level begins to go out. The attraction level begins, what attracted them to the person. So many things can attract you. It can either be lust, it could be infatuation, or it could be love. There are people say, the moment I saw her, I was just in love. We need to check that thing. As I was passing, and she was passing, my heart was doing dig dig bang bang. We need to test your heart rate. Sometimes it is just infatuation, might not be real love. Real love stands the test of time, but lust and infatuation doesn't stand the test of time. When you see yourself attracted to a person because of their physique, their size, or their oratory, something needs to be questioned. Because you want to be sure that there is the right chemistry that is drawing you to this person. Because that is what also pulls you up when you are in the home. Chemistry, listen, you might marry somebody because they have some things, they are good, but if you are not attracted to each other, you will live like cat and dog in the house. Because attraction goes a long way. You don't just want to be in a relationship with somebody that you'll be afraid of going home, afraid of calling the person. You understand what I'm saying? Because you are not attracted. You are not attracted. You understand? And attraction is very important, because if you are not attracted, then you are distracted. That's the point. So it's something that we build over time. Some of the times, the things that makes us to really build our love is when you realize that you can flow with somebody. You know what it means to flow. You feel this something. There's something apart from the lust, apart from the fact that you want to be with somebody on the bed. There are things you just realize that there is an inner witness in you about something. Number two thing you need to watch out for is compatibility. Compatibility. That's what I just shared right now. You got to be compatible. If you marry somebody you love and you are not compatible, you will always have issues. You might love the person, but love is strong enough to cover up some things. But compatibility helps us, because it is compatibility that connects us in our ability to relate together. You have to ensure that you are spiritually compatible, you are emotionally compatible, you are mentally compatible. Compatibility helps you to be able to associate better, to be able to communicate better. There are people that when their partner calls them, they don't feel like picking, because at the end of the conversation they will fight. Every time they talk, they will fight. They have to test the compatibility level. You understand? There are people that you are so compatible with that before you finish your statement, they know the right thing. You understand that kind of thing. Those things are built because, like if you have a circle, you can't use a square peg to put in it. It got to be able to fix in. That's why even when God was looking for a person for Adam, he said, I need somebody comparable with him. Comparable. with him, someone he could relate with, someone he could flow along with. That is a test that we also need to look into in our relationship. And those are the things we look into as we grow on. Number 3 is commitment. We talked about commitment earlier. We need to test commitment, and it must be from both sides. Commitment enhances the success of relationship. Number 4 is character. Character is the wheel upon which relationship rides. Character, attitude, behavior, it influences relationship success. Character, it's the summation of who we are. That's why I keep talking about we got to work on our person. We got to work. Now that you are still, there are people that are married and still struggling with who they are. Marriage does not define who you are. Who you are defines your marriage. Your marriage can influence who you are. And I need to talk about something also at that point that I've had people say, oh, I know he's always he's an addict. I know he's a womanizer. I know he's this and that. But when we get married, I will change him. Man, you don't change people. Change is a function of choice. But relationship can influence people to change. But the change is going to be a decision. For good, it's going to be a decision. You can't force people to change. You can influence them to change, but you can't just say change. If you don't change, I say I will change, because I will change because I'm getting something from you. Then some people are just waiting for them and say, you saw me before we got married. You know that was I. This is me. And then you are hooked up. You have to carry your cross daily. And in some world like we have, they say I'm out. I said, you are out. You got married last year. You are out this year. Why are you out? That's why we have to get it right from the beginning. The foundation of it is your person. So you don't be carried away with what somebody has or what somebody is saying, but who they are. But we know out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. The person's attitude and character will always show up. Will always show. That's why you have to do things outside of date. Outside of we having a date. Just do something that get the person in conversation. In conversation, you begin to see the right person, because what we say is our life. We speak based on who we are. And that is it. Even if somebody has learned something, the only time the person will be able to impress you is the first time you meet. After that, when you just engage in spontaneous conversations that there is no room for rehearsals, then you start getting the kind of person you are dealing with. Okay, let me stop there. Let's deliberate. Let's have questions. If you are watching on Facebook, if you have questions, you can send it in. We have some couple of minutes to spend there. Let's say like 20 more minutes. So, but I want us to, talk, because part of the objective of Singles Hangout is to be able to see what are the areas that singles are having issues. What are the areas that is affecting? What are the fears of singles in relation, as it comes to relation? What are the fears? Then what are the experiences that have taken place that we can see how we begin to work on it, so that we will be able to position ourselves for better relationship? Or what are the area of challenges that we might be able to look into? All right, so the floor is open. Let's talk. Microphone. Willie wants to talk now. It's his turn.
So I have a question.
Right.
I have a friend, not me, my friend.
Yeah, I like that way. I like the question to go that way. Thank you. A friend. Yeah.
Who was in a relationship for close to 7 years. And one day the lady just came up and said, I've fallen out of love for this guy. So
that the love has expired.
I really don't understand what it means by like falling out of love, because they were so much in love. You could see they were so much in love. It was so promising. Then one day she said she has fallen out of love. So what's the meaning of falling out of love?
Okay, what's the meaning of falling out of love? Okay, I think Willie will be able to define, because we define a lot of things, or if I would define it. Okay, Willie wants to talk now. I want you to talk before you leave here, or else you go and do comedy.
Maybe falling out of love. You just from what I believe, you don't just fall out of love with somebody. It's gradually over time. Maybe he's been doing stuff that she's not been pleased over a while, and he could change it, but he did not see it, the importance of it. And over time, you can only tolerate something that you don't like for a certain amount of time before. It's not like you've fallen out of you still have love for the person, but because of the negative parts of them, it makes you not appealing in your eyesight anymore. That's what I think.
Yeah. You know, like Welly said, there will have been some signs, some things over time going in and going on that if, just like the crack in the wall, if it's not taken care of, we might eventually have a collapse of the building. But I'm going to talk a little about that later. Okay.
Okay, I have a question about that.
Oh, I want us to talk about this fall out of love first.
Well, yeah.
Okay, in relation to the question, okay.
Yes, the falling out of love, it could be that she rediscovered herself.
After 6 years.
7 years.
Yeah, that's true.
It's possible because sometimes when you start something, sometimes it starts with deceit. And then when you're in there, you find yourself and then you become honest with yourself. And then you tell yourself, this is not really what I want. I thought it was what I wanted, but it's not. Now, the question I have is, was it okay for them? I mean, I'm not in support of dating long. 7 years is
that's part of the areas I want to have the question.
So, was it something that they agreed on, or did she want to get married earlier, or did she feel like they were not going anywhere? That's also another thing. 7 years that you're married. Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know if they agreed upon being together for 7 years, but it so happened. I think they were just dating and everything.
Yeah, some things. now, really, we in relationship, we don't many times recommend long term, especially as Christians, because it gives room to so many things. Number one, it can give room to weakness. It can give room to every level of temptation. It can give room to people changing their mind abruptly or things happening, of course. But it is also better at that level that the person realizes that, no, I can't, because it's going to take a lot of courage to pull out of such a relationship. Just like I shared with you mine, it took a lot of courage. But eventually, it is better for the person to be where they want to be than to now eventually get married to such a person, and then 2 years after marriage, the person now realizes that, no, I had to go.
But maybe to
buttress
what she said. So if you discovered yourself, is this seen as falling out of love? Because what she's saying might be.
I think the person just used that fall out of love as a way to get out of the relationship.
The guy was devastated, but the lady was able to move on.
Yeah, because the lady has already built another love. I mean, that's the thing, there is another love. Now, when we look at it, let me tell you the reality. Let us be real. Number one, most often than not, ladies, when they are in a relationship, by the 3rd year, they want to get married. Or before that, or some after that. There are some long-term relationships that works, but it has to be definite. There must be a purpose defined from the beginning, and also influences on each other. That, okay, now, oh, you have done that, okay, keep moving on. When people are busy pursuing life, it helps them to not be distracted from the relationship that they knew that this thing, we are building it into the future. You understand that? But along the line, when a lady realizes that this guy is not proposing marriage, we don't even know what he's doing. And sometimes when they realize that the guy is not moving from the level he is to another level, they realize that, man, I can't wait for this one. No, there is I can't stay in this rural place. There is God has done a miracle bus stop the next place. So that's one of the things about women. And sometimes it could be pressure, depending on age. Parents can put pressure on that. Are you still staying with that guy that is not going to school or doesn't even know how his life is going to be? Then the girl, even though the girl is in love, will still be looking at he will make it. He has defended. At the end of the day, somebody just showed up with what she was looking for. It's going to be easy for her to just enter into that one. I said, this guy, I don't know when he's going to propose, if he's even going to propose at all. They're always waiting for this proposed thing. You know, ladies are waiting for this proposed thing. So you have to, you see, of course. So, but really, one of the things we can learn from this thing is that long-term relationship might work for some people. It might not work for some people. You have to be able to define it from the beginning and be able to see how we go about it, because it should be a place, a platform for us to get to know each other better and to grow each other and enhance each other's destiny and life. But sometimes it doesn't work because of different things, pressures that comes in. And also sometimes it helps to be able to see if this person is someone that can stand long with someone or not. You understand? So that's not my view on that. Any other question? Any other question? Or yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want to ask that how can one know if one is actually secure? How can one know if one is secure in a relationship? Like when you're in a relationship, like, okay, is this relationship secure for me to stay? So I want to know about more about security in a relationship.
Okay, I want us to talk about that, especially for those of you that have had experiences. Let's talk about that, because I understand that is part of one of the challenges that we also have in relationship. How do you get to know?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
On the part of the lady, if you are in a relationship with a guy, I'm going to talk on the part of the guy. If I know a lady is secured being in relationship with me, everything I will be putting up will be a reflection of the altar and marriage.
A reflection of what?
The altar and marriage.
Okay.
It's not going to be like, hey, today we are clubbing. Today we are going to this place. We are shopping. We are doing this. We are doing whatever. So all I will show up is, okay, what do you think we can do to make this work? What do you think we can, this business, what do you say about it? Even if she's not even going to be putting her whole money in the relationship, things I'll be bringing up will actually get to let her know. I'll tell her, hey, my mom wants to talk to you. Hey, can you talk to my mom about this? Can you talk to my uncle? Oh, I have a friend. And the way I will place that lady in front of my friends is not going to be like, oh, she's just my girlfriend. I won't have you be around my friends. I'm talking as a guy now, like for me to show a lady she's secured in relationship, the way I will talk to you in the presence of my friends, I will let them know, hey, this is not just don't talk to her like the way you talk to me, don't talk to her that way. And whenever she's around, I will let her know. I will give her signal signs that, okay, you are not just my girl, you are my wife to be. So, you are part of me. So I can't out of stupidity, take out my knife and plug out the rib of my chest. So the way I take care of my part is the way so for you to know you are secured in relationship, things like that looks dating will be off it. And I will always show to you that, okay, this is leading to I will treat you like my wife.
So there will be caring, there will be concern.
Commitment, and I'll be ready to serve.
To serve, okay.
Yes, because from the book of Genesis 24, we can see how marriage should work. Yeah. The lady too must be ready to serve. And if I see, this is something I always don't like when it comes to relationship. When there is no way we'll be in relationship without having one issue or the other. If we can't sit together and clear it off, that means the marriage cannot work. Some ladies will actually go out telling their friends, hey, did you see what that guy did? Imagine. No. Or maybe the third party is coming in to help you solve one thing or the other. So, this is just what I can say for now. I think it's in broad. So,
okay. Yeah, I want us to talk because why is that?
Thank you.
Eventually, part of what this will lead us to, what I see is that maybe the next quarter along the line, we'll have men sit down like this, we'll have ladies sit down like this, and then we're going to be asking some questions. How can we make you secure? You understand? So that we're able to see from the perspective, when a woman is talking about security, it might be another different thought, a different what a man is thinking. Because the man say, after all, I'm spending on you, I'm buying you clothes. What else do you want me? How do you want me to still show? You understand? But sometimes a lady wants you to put them as your BP or BBM.
All of them.
Make sure that she is there. The screensaver, let them see. And when you talk, you always make reference to her. Sometimes that is security. Yeah, let's talk.
Thank you so much. I think what our brother was sharing is very nice. But I think her question was, how will you know that you are
secured
in a
as a lady? Okay.
So maybe the way we have to answer is, how will I know I am secure?
That's right.
With a lady, how like?
She's seen all those things I've talked about.
Okay.
She should know that she's secure.
Okay. Oh, and how will you know that you are secure?
I want you to talk about that. How will you know that she will not fall out of love? Like the lady fell out of love.
Well, I've not been in a very long relationship, but I've been in a very, very long mode of talking to a lady, talking to her, telling her, hey, please, can you marry me for 9 good years? That's a lot.
Really, what happened?
9 good years. I was talking to a lady, hey, please, can you marry me? And then I had the opportunity of meeting other ladies coming my way as an instrumentalist, as probably, let me just...
Okay, Willie, look at me.
It's making me cry.
No. Let's go. We are flowing.
So, as a guy, I've been to the level that there was this when I was serving Nigerian army. I got to the point that I met this lady. I knew her from school back then. So by the time we met, when I was serving Nigerian army, she came to me and she was like, "Hey, Ralph, I'm going back to school." I was like, "Okay." I wasn't having much on me, but she said, "Oh, I have to go back to school." We are not married. Why must you expect me to contribute to your school fee or whatever you want to buy?
Because you are a partner.
Don't expect it. Don't expect it. But I was like, okay, well, I'll give it. Then I was having like 4,000 naira Nigerian money with me in my pocket. I gave her 3,000 naira. And I was having 1,000.
So much in love. Wow.
That's the thing, this guy.
Okay.
He's a comedian. He's giving.
Yeah. I mean, no, we are learning.
I gave her 3,000, and she was like, what do you think about this 3,000? Do you think this can buy this? This can buy.
So
that?
you should have given her your life. That's it.
I was like, okay, no problem. I'm sorry. I begged her. And I took her out of my door. And by the time she got to my door, I told her, this is the last time you ever come to this house.
You fell out of love.
Yeah, I told her.
Because
she, with that attitude, ladies is just very, very fast. It's very, very obvious. I mean, it's very, very quick for ladies to show you are not secured in relationship. That is men can still hide because we have ego. We are dramatists. We can prove to be a good guy today and tomorrow madman and next tomorrow professor and next. But ladies,
men can hide.
Yes, men can hide because we have all it takes to control women because we always know they are from us. Women can hide, but for a lady to show you are secured or not, it's very easy for you to get. So these are just the steps. Like maybe you actually, the way she talks to you in public places, like maybe when you guys are maybe interacting or something, and before you say anything, she's selfish. She's like, maybe you're like this. I was in a relationship. I was sovereign. I had to travel from Texas to Kansas, Wichita. So I was with the problem I was facing over there. This lady called me, and she wasn't even worried about what I was passing through. And I already told her, and she was like, "Hey, when you come back, can you help me get this? Can you help me get that? Can you?" I was like, "Damn, she's such a selfish lady." So I was like, "Okay, no problem." When I come back, and by the time I came back, everything opened up.
Amen.
Willie, what do you see to that?
Well, First of all, before you even talk about security in a relationship, you should first know if this is the will of God for you.
That's right.
First and foremost. It's only when you know that, you know, this is the person. If you know that this is the person, then you have to start preparing yourself, making adjustments to fit and working on the things that you need to work on. But if it's not the will of God for you, security, I guess it's more difficult. You just have to try to figure out, you know, if you're secured or not. But I think it's important that you first of all go to God and ask God, is this your will for me? Now, asking God for God's will is not something he answers directly. It's a process.
That's right.
You know, as you go along in the relationship, you'll discover if this is the person or not. Time reveals a lot of things. And that's what I tell my friends. Give it time. Time brings about revelation. Yes, we all want to marry the right person, but it's not going to just happen all of a sudden.
That's right.
It's a process that you go through. As you're going through that relationship, keep in mind that whatever happens, you're not supposed to come out bitter. Very important.
Yeah.
You cannot come out bitter. You're supposed to learn and become better. So that, because what the devil has been doing is pairing the wrong people up so that you can have a bad experience. And so when the real person comes, you treat them in a bad way. So we have to be aware of the devices of the enemy. Your experiences is not for you to be bitter. You learn from it. When the right person comes, it should be easy for you to still be good, you know, without changing. So I would say focus on the will of God, and then you can figure out security. There's something else I wanted to say, but I'm not.
I have a question. All right. Y'all bear with me now. Before you buy a car, you test drive, right? Okay.
Before you buy a car,
you test drive the car to make sure you don't just look on the outside.
So should we be test driving?
Wait, let me.
Okay. I'm holding on. Before
you eat at a buffet, you take small to make sure you enjoy it before you go back for more. Correct.
That's right.
Before you buy your clothes, you make sure it fits on you at the dressing room before you go. So why, when it comes to marriage, we don't try it first? Now, listen, I'm still a virgin. And you need to, I'm saying, like, you may not be sexually compatible with a person. You understand me? So why is it that we don't test drive women or sex before? Because a big portion of women said the divorce did not please sexually in a marriage. I mean, 20 years to be married and not be pleased sexually is a long time to be deprived of something God gave us to enjoy. You know. So I'm not saying we should all just go.
No. I got you. I can relate with you. Now let me interpret what he's saying.
Guy talk now.
Willie is saying that if you want to buy a car, you test drive it. You want to eat in a buffet, you test the food. You want to buy a cloth, you test to see if it fits. The everything we test. There's always a testing. Like we test microphone. Now, then the question is, why don't we test drive relationship, either as a man or a woman, to know if it's going to be sweet or not? The question now is, how do we test drive a relationship? Are you getting what I'm saying now? So, but from what Willie was passing across to me in the spiritual, I could deduce that it was saying sex is one of the ways or the only way to test drive a relationship. Okay, now let's talk about it a little. This is going to be a major subject, but we are not going to finish it today because we have a generation that has come up with this thing over and over again, and they are saying, just like you said, that there are people that they are getting out of their marriages because they said they are not being sexually pleased in the marriage, and they divorce. Now you are saying that if they have tested it before, they will have known if it's a good car or not. But the answer is this. Listen to me. All the things we shared has to do with you. Your cloth, the flute, the car. It's about pleasing you. But marriage is beyond pleasing one person. It's beyond pleasing. It's beyond what you want to put on or what you want to put in. You understand? Or what you want to drive. Because women are not drivable. They are not cars. Marriage is a union. You understand? It's a union. Two people connecting together to make it work. So let's assume that I want to be in this business of testing. If I've tested Sarah, I've tested Shade, I've tested Yabor, I've tested, one day I might test to death. You understand what I'm saying now? So the secret answer is this. That's what I tell this generation, that check it. Everything we test has to do with fulfilling our appetite, our own picture. But we cannot be testing marriage or relationship because it's not about us. It's about we. So we can't just say, I want to test it if it's good. Now the question is, what if we had sex and we tested it and you realize it wasn't good? Then you're going to run out of love. You're going to run out of love. Then you move to the next one, test. Then we will test all of the cars, and we have second-hand cars all over the country. No brand new tear rubbers anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching me and listening to me, we don't test drive marriage. We want to be sure that this is number one. Somebody talked about the will of God. We're going to talk about that in the course of our outreach. Our Hangout. Somebody also talked about security. And we need to know that generally, things we do outside of marriage is sin. If we sex out of marriage, it's fornication. Sex within two people that are not married is fornication. Sex between a married person and an unmarried person is adultery. Either Bible or not, either worldly or not, a sin is a sin. And to be ignorant of it is not an excuse as well. So because at the end of the day, we have so many things to put at risk. Some people's life has been jeopardized because somebody they have tested has placed some arrows on their head, and you understand what I'm saying now? And go levels. Okay, somebody want to talk?
Okay.
I know this question will generate answers.
Praise God.
Yes.
About the test driving.
Afua, you're welcome. No, that's not Afua.
Nancy.
That's Nancy. Sorry.
About the test driving marriage thing, it's, I don't know, our generation think it's okay, right?
Yeah.
But the tricky thing about that is, once you get exposed to someone, it will affect you when you meet the right person. Because now, if you're testing, you're sleeping with different men or women, when you end up with...
No, it's not sleeping, it's testing.
Huh? No, but the thing is, when you test and you go around different men and women, when you meet that person, you're going to have expectations. And that will affect your marriage. It's just like, take for instance, porn. Men that watch porn, when they get married, they have expectations. Why? Huh? Which is wrong, but some married people watch porn, I guess. But I'm not a huge fan of that. But the thing is, it affects them because they'll have expectations.
They now place unnecessary demand and expectation on their partner. On the husband. That's right. Yeah, either way. Yeah, it works in both sides.
Both ways. Hold on.
So are you saying that it's only men that watch porn or what?
Huh?
No, he's trying to say only women watch porn. No. In society, right? If a man can please a woman, he's not a man. That's society. You know what I'm saying?
If a man what?
Cannot please a woman.
It's not a man. It depends on what pleasing is all about.
Yes, it depends on what you're talking about. Besides, the man is supposed to learn to know how to please his wife, because honestly, satisfaction is a big deal. Some of the times, the reason why some women cheat is based on satisfaction. The man should know how to handle it. So you can't say because you speak in tongues that's an excuse not to enlighten yourself. And I'm not saying you should watch porn, but by all means, if you know how to pray about it. Read books. They have books about love making. They have all these things that you can learn, because honestly, when you get married, that becomes a problem. But exposing yourself before you meet that right person, it can affect you. If you're with the real one, you can be thinking about your experience with your ex or somebody else, and that would also affect, you know, performance. So it's a trick that the devil does with us, and we have to be very careful about it. And that's why it's very necessary for you to break soul ties. When you break soul ties, you also have to, you know, erase the memories, because that comes back to you. So no test driving. I'm not a car.
Okay, we have less than 10 minutes to close our for today. Okay, yeah. Let's two of them talk, because we have to be able to identify.
So I have
No, it's perfect time.
so I have this other question to about the security thing. I think we didn't finish with the security.
The security. Okay, and we're going to talk about it.
What Deborah also said about the men learning. I think it should be both ways. It shouldn't be just men trying to learn to please the woman. And when we are talking of pleasing in all sense, like not just sexually, but like it's like if you are sitting there saying, "Oh, my man has to please me, my guy has to please me," it puts a toll on the guy. It's like the demand is on the guy to please the lady. Okay. But the pleasing should not be just one side, but it should be both sides.
On both sides.
And as well as be it spiritual pleasing, economically. Like, I'm not saying the woman should pay the bills and everything, but there should be contribution here and there. There should be like, what can I do? What can I do to make my partner happy?
Yeah, on both sides.
On both sides.
That is love.
So it shouldn't be the man should please the woman. And when it comes to the bedroom also,
okay,
it shouldn't be that the man should learn how to do, like, you should know. He should know.
There is the woman's responsibility also to on both sides.
So the way I like it this way, why don't we do it this way, like that? And it works. Okay. And then the matter of security, like how do you know that you are secure? I think that's a very broad thing that we need to. It's very important.
Now, I want
very important
you
for
to
us
take me notes. You know, like I said, part of the objective of this hangout is to be able to see some areas of challenges and research on how we can solve them. Now, like I said, if we sit down now, we ask a man, if you are in a relationship with a woman, how will you know what are the things you are expecting to help you see that you are secured? You understand? And like I have a question here that, you know, I thought we will have, you know, that what should ladies look out for in their future husband? The same thing, what should the man look out for in their future husband? So when we look at these things together, we'll be able to see from the perspective of a woman, because men are logical, women are emotional. So in answering this security question, a man, to make a woman secure, must be able to understand that our security, most often than not, lies in the emotional side more. Oh, I'm spending for you, but you are not checking on me. You understand? I'm buying you everything, but you don't know if I'm okay. So the man is just saying, as long as I can take care of you, like even in marriage, some men will just go, you don't see them all through the day. As after all, I've bought the food at home, you have the television, you have the children. But the woman is looking for something beyond that, because this is the reason. She was taken out of the man. So there is what they call a vacuum. Women looks for attention. A man demands respect. That is why when you see a woman always acting up, most often than not, the husband is not always there. So in answering some security questions, we got to be able to understand that women, when they are talking or thinking, they think more with their emotional side, but the man thinks more with the logical side. If a woman is saying, oh, I'm giving you all you need, whenever you say you want to meet with me, I'm giving to you, but you are not respecting me, the man is not secure. Because you say, I'm satisfying you emotionally, but my logical need, you're not meeting up. In some areas like that. But in the area of relationship, we need to first of all be certain that we are in the center of God's will. You understand? In part of our sequences, we're going to be looking at how do we know the will of God? How do we discover that this person is God's will for me? Some people are waiting to hear a voice and say, oh, daughter, that that guy is your, sometimes you don't hear that voice anymore, you know. It's not. But the security thing is from those two direction and dimension. We can't get it? Okay, no. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we don't have much to do. So, yeah, let's have one more.
Yes, sir.
And if they send us out, we'll hang out. We are hanging out. We are not sitting down. We hang outside.
Sir, I have this to should I say oppose what she said.
In pile of 7.
One of the One of the points she said.
Yes.
She said before you can know you are secure.
Okay, everyone watching on Facebook, continue. Send in your questions. We're going to work on it. Thank you for joining this broadcast. We appreciate it. We have to close up, but we will still be hanging out. So this is going to be a quarterly meeting, but we look forward to having you part of it. Send in your questions or your comments or contributions. We are working on it. Okay. Yeah, if I am listening to you.
You have to be, you have to know something is God's will before you know you are secured or something. I want to say that even in God's will, you might still be feeling some insecurity. Just like, forget about the children of Israel.
No. What is the forget about the thing now?
God told them, go this way. And they were going, when they got to the bitterness, they were feeling insecure. I would not mind.
You see, the thing is that is not God's problem. That is not God's problem. That is the person's problem, not being able to accept.
Sometimes you will feel insecure.
And what? You no. The thing is, if you see God as the all in all, you shouldn't be insecure.